welcome to ELLAMAS Day 24. Merry Christmas. I know that for a lot of you, Christmas starts on the 25th. Here in Germany, actually, the main Christmas day is today on December 24th. The Christmas Eve is our Christmas. That's the day where we get to unbox gifts or anything. A tradition here in Germany is in a lot of regions of this country that on Christmas Eve you eat potato salad and like wiener sausages or something like that. I will do that too on that day. And on the 25th then, so basically your real Christmas day, a lot of families do just like big meals, big family gatherings, and they make like a goose, duck, some do fish, and it's like everything surrounding a good big meal where all the family gets together. This year, for the very first time, we will get the parents of my husband, so my in-laws, will come to our house here and I will do that meal. So the previous years we drove to his parents and had the meal there, and this year I'm the one who's hosting the Christmas meal, and I will do different variation of ducks. In total it will be 3 courses, so it's going to be a big meal. And this video here will show you 3 Christmas looks that you could wear on any of the 3 days. So either today, on the 25th, or the 26th. 3 different looks, 3 different palettes, and I am really excited. The look that I'm wearing right now is the first one that you're going to see, so let's head into that. For the first Christmas look, I will be pulling out the molten metals. For me, it's the second time that I use this. You, I think, see it on the first time here on my channel, but it will be featured again in the New Year's Eve looks in a couple days. And for the Christmas look, I thought I incorporate copper and brass. I'm starting the look with antique, and I apply this with a super fluffy brush in the crease and also bring it up towards the brow. I then go into brushed, and that one I apply directly in the crease for the depth. And I also pull it in to the lid, like towards the lashes, for a deeper outer V area. And tap back into antique with the fluffy brush, and I go over this in the crease again to just diffuse any harsh lines. Glitter glue is down, and now I go into the shade Copper. What a beautiful copper shade. That one I apply on 2/3 of my lid, starting in the center, and then bring it outwards. And then I go into the shade Brass, and I use this to fill in the rest of the lid. And with whatever is left here on the brush, I just flick brass here on top of that line to diffuse it into the copper shade. And then I take the smaller brush and I just go around the edges to break up some of these harsh lines here. You can tap back into some of the shades, that's totally fine. Or you just use the brush without any additional pigment. For liner, I'm using the shade Intra from Hindash. I think it's the only liner that they have. It's the iTone pencil, and it's a nice warm brown. And then I tap with the smallest pencil brush that I own into the shade Brushed. And I use this super precisely on my lower lash line to blend that out now. And then I also tap into Antiqued again. Use this slightly underneath to just smoke it out. For my inner corner highlight, I go into the shade Brass with a smaller brush now and tap this on, and then I connect it with the lid. And here we have the first finished look. For the lips, I went with Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Super Size Me, and then I first wanted to do a super nude lip, but then I decided to go with something more neutral but kind of pink and warm, and I decided to go with the YSL Candy Glaze lipstick in the shade 6B. This is definitely a bit more of a dramatic Christmas look if you'd like to wear this, but I tried to cover a variety of different styles. So without any rambling, let's head over to look number 2 that I tried to make a little bit more muted. For the second look, I will be using one of the Florasa's Floral Engraving Phoenix palettes, and it's the one that all of you in my dedicated Florasa's Floral Engraving Phoenix palette video, you were also very, very excited about. I definitely wanted to use this before I film my rankings, so when you see the video, it's all done, but in my timeline, I'm still squeezing in product uses on and off camera to make up my thoughts for the ranking. And number 3 in Soaring Light is just mwah, color story wise. And honestly, I think this could be a Christmas palette, but it could also be a New Year's Eve palette or anything, or just a palette all year round. So my plan is actually, I want to combine these two shades, orange and blue, in the thought of complementary vibes going on and create a very, very stunning eye look. So I'm quite excited. Just for transparency reasons, this palette, including all the other floral engraving palettes, were sent to me in PR for a paid collaboration, but that paid video is already up. My work is done. This I'm now using just because I really love the quality of the Florasa stuff, and this is not paid at all. I'm starting off with this shade here. This is Dusk Warbler, and I use it on quite a small brush, basically because the pens are a bit narrow for my, or a bit too narrow for my bigger brushes, but that's not a problem. I just apply this slightly in the crease, but I basically angle the brush upwards so that I can in one step also blend it upwards towards the brow in my transition area. Now going to the shade next to it. This is called Brown Headed Gull, and that one I apply here in the outer V and throughout the complete crease. And since these are very light, as you can tell, they are at the same time also very buildable, so I try to build up that matte shade to a level that it's satisfying my needs for any depth. So I built this up by tapping in 3 times into the pan and then just keep on blending, blending, blending. And then I also tap back into the lighter brown, and I just use this on the outsides to diffuse any edges. I now go into the star of this palette. This is shade 5 Golden Phoenix. Apply this starting on the inner part of my lid, and I let it fade out towards the outer part so that the outer third is empty. Because now I pick up this shade here, Svinhos Pheasant, is it called? And that one I apply here on my outer part. Now I went back into the center shade Golden Phoenix, and that one I now tap here on top, switch the brush or flip the brush, tap again, flip, tap, flip, tap, basically until this is a gradient. This is a bit more of a challenging vibe here because they are so different, but with patience and tapping and flipping you can do this. So for me this is good enough. I now tapped into the darker brown again, the Brown Headed Gull, and I run this shade again through the crease. For liner, I will be using the Lisa Aldridge Seamless Glide Eye Pencil in the shade Renaissance Gold. I then go into Brown Headed Gull again with a small pencil brush and blend that underneath to diffuse any of the liner that I applied here on the skin. And then I go into the light brown next to it again. You can already guess it. I just used this to blend everything out and diffuse it. So I could now finish this look in 2 ways. I think the pink one here, this is Whistling Thrush, could make a great inner corner highlight, but also the shade next to it, which is Egg Red, but also the shade Silver Heron. Because of the warmth here on that inner part, I actually go with Egg Red because Silver Heron is a silvery shade, and I think that one here left from Golden Phoenix is much better fitting the whole vibe. So I pick up the shade Egg Red and apply this as my inner corner highlight and also bring it a bit in the crease. And here we have the finished look. I actually wanted to go with the Natasha Denona My Dream Lip Gloss, but I had to realize that it went rancid. It had a super weird gray cast, it smelled like paint, so I tossed it. But Instead, I went with the Hindash lip liner in the shade Hush, and then I topped it off with the Fenty Beauty Gloss Sticks in the shade Fenty Glow. It's just such a universal pretty color. I will never get like sick of it. I just love it. I also applied the shade here, the Silver Heron, as brow bone highlight at the end because I just didn't want to skip this shade. Quick mini review. I love this palette. I love it. It's so pretty. I love this eye look. I think it just works so beautiful together. Although it might be very obvious that you combine these two shades, but I just really like this. And once the ELLAMAS series is over, I will definitely do more looks with this where I have to incorporate these shades here. They are just chef's kiss. But now let's head over to look number 3. That will concentrate more around liquid eyeshadows. So for the last look, I will be incorporating also a Florasis palette. This is the 4th of the Floral Engraving Phoenix palettes. This is gold brown, and this is it's so good in the color story. And since this has very, very soft shimmers, I will use this basically as base for the look. And then I will incorporate 2 liquid eyeshadows, one from LH Cosmetics and one from Made by Mitchell. But I'm starting the look with the shade Swan and apply this as my transition color. I now take a bigger fluffy brush and I go in the center shade. This is Phoenix. And I apply this as a light dust all over the lid. Now I go into the shade Swallow and apply this through the crease. I now take this flat but kind of fluffy brush from Made by Mitchell. This is the ME8. And I take the LH Cosmetics Sparkle Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Glitz. It's a beautiful, warm, chocolatey brown. And I so far only swatched it actually. I never applied it on my eye. But I know that they are very, very pigmented, so I take some here with the brush. And I start to apply this on my lid, fill in the outer half of my eyelid, and then bring it inwards a bit. And before this sets down, I take the brush that I used the Swallow shade with and diffuse the edges. I take the Made by Mitchell liquid eyeshadow. These are called the foil films, and this is the shade Tarnation. I haven't even swatched these, so this is a complete new one for me. These are texture-wise a bit different to the LH Cosmetics ones, so they also do have a better doe foot, I think. So I just apply this directly. Ooh. And then I take a super small brush to just diffuse it a bit and make it even. And where they both meet, I flick it out. To be honest, I have a bit of a problem with these because when you try to blend them out with a brush, they start to lift and everything underneath is removed. So I let it like dry for 30 seconds so that it kind of starts to dry down. And then I applied it and I basically diffused it and made sure that everything is covered. And that worked much, much better. The overall color and the fact is pretty, but I'm not sure about the formula. For liner for this look, I go with the About Face Line Artist in So Important. It's a warmish terracotta red. And then I tap into Swallow, I think it was. Yes, Swallow again. And that on the lower lash line. And then I go into Finch. This is not completely matte. It's like a satin. And I blend this on top and bring it also a bit down. And to soften everything, I go into Warbler. I use this slightly underneath just to soften this blend. For the inner corner highlight, I stay into the Flower Nose palette and I take this shade here. This is Egret or Egret, I don't know. And apply this here on the inner corner, tad bit on the lower lash line and tad bit in the crease. And here we have now the third and finished look. For the lips, I went with MAC Mahogany Lip Liner and the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Medium Blur, the liquid lipstick thingies from her that I really, really love. And that's it. These are the 3 ideas for Christmas looks, and I think you saw theming. They all are very, very warm because this is, to me personally, maybe it's a German thing, just this is Christmas colors. Warm, reddish, gold, brown, glitzy, and all that, and I just really, really love this. quick review maybe in the video here of this liquid eyeshadow. Not the biggest fan, but in this whole line of the foil films from Made by Mitchell, the formulations are very different depending on the color. So some of these are really more like glitter toppers. Some are like this. They feel like a like an acrylic paint, but in a good way, kind of. So I try to play with them a bit more in the future. But so far, honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of this because it took such a long time to achieve a look. I do like the result at the end, but I don't know if it was worth to just struggle so much. While these ones, they still have my biggest recommendation. I just cannot stop raving about them. So let me please know down below, what are you going to wear for the Christmas days? Thank you so much for staying with me until today. I wish you a wonderful holiday time, a wonderful Christmas time. Enjoy that time off, slow down, be yourself. I myself, for today, as it is the 24th, I will not wear any makeup, but tomorrow on the 25th, I will probably do a bit more of a light makeup I just thought of because I have to cook so much and it just basically comes off and I do not have a lot of time to get ready. So to be honest, a very quick look for me would be taking one of these, maybe a golden one, maybe a more translucent one, slap it on my face and just be good to go, honestly. Or go with no makeup at all. I don't know, maybe I'll post it on Instagram. So if you want to know what I wore on that day, just check out Instagram. Thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out the rest of ELLAMAS because it's still going strong until December 31st. And if you're bored or if you want to escape the holiday stress a bit, there is a playlist link down below so you can check out the previous videos. Thank you so much and I see you tomorrow.